Good morning, I'm Dr. Bob Sather, and the purpose of this video is to give some tips and tricks on how to effectively use the Draw.io program. Let's get started with it. We're sharing the drive. We'll come over to the system over here. Where's my, oh, come on, boy. Where are you? You disappeared on me. There they are. There they go. We're going to go to draw.io. Those AppNet diagrams, I want to cancel here because what I want to do, I want to decide where I want to put my stuff. So I'll decide later. Or I can choose device. And if I choose device, it will put it into my computer's download box if you're running Windows. Okay, so we're going to device, we're going to just do a blank diagram, create a blank diagram, and they want us to give it a name. We want to give it the webinar sample, be the name of the file. And save as type XML and so forth. We can just leave it as an XML file, and it goes ahead and does that. Okay. Now, here's your screen, and you can see what it looks like if I go to Fit Page. It's very, very light. You can barely see it, but it's got the grid behind it over here. I don't know if you can see that grid. Let's zoom it up to 100%. There's the grid. Zoom it up to 200%. Now you can see the grid barely behind it. Okay. We want to go to fit on the page. Okay. I like that because it gives me I understand where I'm at. If I just open it as create files, sometimes it's hard to find the top, but I know the top of my page is right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to do a flow chart. I'm going to put a start here, taking all the defaults, and let's do a parallelogram for a process. Parallel for process, where we're going to do our declare statements. Declare integer, number, declare string, text, declare Boolean, true. Some declare statements. Problem is, can't read it. Okay, can't read it. If I go back and start to do this as a thing for the Windows, I'm going to fix the page. You can't read that. Can't read that from the back of the room. It's running in here. The problem that I think is that they make these too small in the default. They make these too small in the default. And the only way to change the default is manually here. Let's set it to 18. I can see that a little better now. Okay, but then I'm going to end up changing all the defaults of all my text all the way down the line. It's a pain in the butt. Second thing, if I make it to something big enough where I can read it, it overflows the box. So we're not going to do that. We're going to set up a default object, okay, and then make it something. We can see there's the object here. And I'm going to go and say, I'm going to put that right there and maybe make that what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces across. The other thing I'm going to do is when I put in my text right there, I will select that text and I'm going to make it 18 characters. Okay. Now I have something that's reasonable. I can see that. I can read that. But in order to keep from doing it over and over and over again, Once you've got your object created with the right size and the right font, drag it over here to the scratch pad. Now I can come in here, and when I want the ellipse with some text in it, I put it there. I could type in text, start, and I'm ready to go. I do the same thing for all the diagrams. There's a parallelogram. That's small compared to that. Grab the corners. Where's my corner here? Should be able to grab the corner. Oh, that made it square. Control U to undo. Where's my undo? Get rid of it. Parallelogram, put it down here. Should be able to grab the corners right on the, let's go to 100%. There I go, now I can see it. Let's grab that. Look at that, that kind of fits that box right there. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 across the bottom. Fix the box size. Come in here, enter some text. Text. Make sure you change the text to your 18 font. Okay. Take this whole image, drag it into the scratch pad. Okay. Drag it into the scratch pad. Notice that 100% I keep losing things. There it is. How about if then else tables? Okay, come over here, grab an if then else table, drag it down. Notice how small it is. I can make it much bigger. That looks like it's nice and lined up. Double click on it, put text in here. It's important that you do the text each time because that's a property of this object. Now, anytime I grab this from Scratchpad, it'll have the right size. And the final one, the rectangle. Take a rectangle out here for process. Kind of line it up. Let's go to 100% so I can see it a little better. And bring my screen over. Grab a corner. I'm gonna grab a corner here. There it goes. Grab a corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have to be perfect. And again, remembering to do the text and making sure that's 18.2. Now you can make it any font you want, doing the same thing. You can make a New Times New Roman, Arial, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But the point is, I've created an object with those properties. Now if we come in here and we're going to start to do some connections. Where's my connection? I mouse over below it, I get a connection. That drops me straight down. Mouse over this one, there's a little blue connection. Drop it straight down. Mouse over this one, there's a little blue connection. Drop it straight down. That's telling me that I'm not quite lined up. Let's line them all up again. Let's get rid of this. Delete it. Line all our fields up here. That's lined up. Oh. That's lined up there. That's lined up there. Get rid of my arrows. Get rid of my arrows. Now they're all lined up. Now what I can do is I can move these things a little closer. If you want to start worrying about space. You move these things a little closer to each other. All right, so here, I lined up, move it over a little bit. Where's my center line? There's my center line. Center line here, center line there, center line there. Okay. Now let's take our grabs here, grab our little arrow key. Oh, there's center line. Grab our little arrow key over here. I don't have to drag that arrow key down. All I've got to do is click on it. That center line there. See if I get my center line here. I had it just a second ago. There we go. Come over here in this box. There's a little arrow. Just push on the arrow and it will make the connection for you. Okay. So here in this statement, we'll do some processing here. And here we're going to say declare integer equal number, declare string text, declare Boolean true. Okay, I've got a little bigger box to do that. But if I look at that, I'm saying that's really not quite big enough. What I really need to do, make this a little bigger. Get some more space. Make it a little bigger. Take the number here, say text. Font size is 18. Is that okay? I'm going to get rid of all these. I'm going to make them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 width across. Then get rid of the rest of these. Get rid of my arrows. We're going to make it 5 across now. Make it a little bigger so it fits our sizes. Put that arrow there. Get rid of him. There's our box. Come back up here to our scratch pad. 4 didn't work, so we're going to get rid of all the ones that were 4 and go to a box that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. And how does that look as far as the space goes for size? Let me just take this, drag it back to the scratch pad. Then here I can say, okay, declare integer unique number, declare string equal text, declare Boolean true. Okay, so I've got a little bigger box that gives me a little more room to enter data. Now, one thing I don't want to do is, because if we're doing this at page width, I can still see that. Okay, I can still see that. I can read that. So let's start making the rest of our ellipse. Once we've established our size here, see how little the original one was? Let's get rid of that. How little the original one was? Let's go grab that. Keep it in his ellipse. That looks pretty good. And don't forget to go inside the ellipse, type text, change the text to, I was using 18 font. That's just lucky guess on my part. You can make it whatever you want. And once I've got it, drag it over to the scratch pad area. and do the same thing for the diamond shape. That would be the diamond shape. I'll grab that, make it bigger. That's pretty good. Now it needs to be a little bigger than that. That lined up pretty good. I'm sizing it for the size of the field here. That's all I want to do. I want to just size it. Now here, this would be for an if statement. So I'm going to take the text. I'm in text. I'm going to drop it to 18 and put in text here. Put text in the box. Select the text. Make that 18. Save the box over to the scratch pad. Okay. Now here, on the if statement, you can start to see, once I double click on that text box, it still says 18. This is an if statement. I put an if statement in there. Why? Why would I put an if statement? Why would I make that an if statement? Isn't that a decision box? Well, that same decision box is used for while statements, used for do while statements, and if statements. Okay? Used for all those things. So when you create an if then else statement, a decision statement, okay, start out with what it's going to do. We'll say if number greater than 256, then what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to have a true and a false type statement. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to come grab a text box. There's a text box. So I'll grab that thing. There's a text box. And I want to make that text box 18 and save it. Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to save that? Let's go again back to the page. The page is over here. Because what I'm going to use with this text box, is going to make this one, I'm going to make it true. Okay? If it's true, then what are we going to do? We're going to take a rectangle box over here. Oh, like that. Take a rectangle box. Keep grabbing it by the corners. That rectangle box over here someplace. We'll make it bigger. Then we'll put stuff in it. We get to 100%. If you can't get to it, let's make that 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably want that a little bit bigger. And again, I'm thinking about putting stuff in it. Double clicking here, I've got my text right here. Save my text, make it 18. Take this whole thing and move it over to my scratch pad. And now, if that's true, I'm going to do this, okay? And then it's going to come back down there. Now, if it's false, we'll do something else. So one of the things you could do, see this text statement? That's just text. We'll take the text statement, drag it over here, make it false. I take my little arrows here. Click that arrow. Get my little arrow over here. Where's my arrow there? There's my arrow there. Move that down a little bit. Take my little arrow over here. Take it to the true box. Drop the arrow. True box. Come down a little bit. There he is. I take my arrow from my box here and go to true. That's the wrong arrow. Not lined up. What happened? Let's go to 100%. Line it up. There we go. Now it's lined up. Now when I go over here and push my button, takes right here. Now I can take from this true button, there's my down button, move it to text. That's lined up. How about my false side? This lined up? There it is. It's lined up. Click the yellow arrow button. Click the arrow. I don't want that. Why is it doing that? There's text down here, false here. That's all nice and lined. That's all nice and lined. I don't know why that's doing that. It's not what I wanted. Oh, it's there anyway. It's there anyway. Okay, there's our text for true. And then when all that gets done down there, I'm going to do a do while. Take another decision table. Now I'm going to do this do while because do whiles are different. While says I'm going to do something. While, let's say while, what we call Boolean, while switch, while switch equal true. I know that's not the way you do it, but we're going to do it that way just for the people who are just learning. Okay. I could just say Boolean number. This Boolean number here, when it says saying true, it would say switch. I'm going to declare switch, and then down here in my text here, if it's true, I'm going to say switch equal true. That's an assignment. And down over here, I'm going to say switch equal false. And when I get down here, all I'm going to say is while switch. While switch what? Is switch equal to true? Sure it is. Take that little button there. Oh. Drop it to there. Take my little button here. Drop it to there. Okay. False true. While switch is equal, while switch means it's true. So the right-hand side is true. Go ahead and tell it. Right-hand side is true. I can take this box right here, copy it, and drag it down to here. Okay? Usually on a do-while statement, the false box, I want to copy that. Copy that false box. The false box drops straight down on a do while. Okay? True condition. Then I'm going to have a whole bunch of statements here. Whole bunch of statements. What I'm going to do if the text is true. I'm going to say Let me get this thing out of Microsoft. I'm going to say if it's true, move 1 to number, move 1 to number, or I could say 1 to number set. If you want to use that proper terminology, set number to 1 and backwards. Set number to 1, number equal to 1. Set text equal to Dr. Bob. Okay? And a number of other statements. Now, one other thing I want to do here. I want to unset my switch. If my switch is still 0, okay, this is my first statement. I might come down here and then my second set might be, I might have here for set the numbers equal to that. I might use input as a process. I could say here, true. How about if we said instead of this, we said input switch. Okay. Input switch, and do another guy down here. Okay. Input switch, and come down and say, see, we're saying switch is true right here. And come down and say number equal 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down this path, and if switch is not true, I'm going to go back in the path and redo it. That's the whole idea behind the do while. So let's go ahead and take our statements, line them up, and if that's false, take this guy all the way back up around to right there. And I'm going to take him and I'm going to drag him. Let's see here. Should be able to drag it. Drag it up to there. Usually if I put a text box up there, I can drag it back over this way. There's other ways to join it. Let's try a line. Thought I could do it this way. We have a line command. Gives us a little more flexibility. With the line command, put that there. Take that point there, drag it over here. Take this point here, drag it down here. Oh, we drag this over to here. Take this line here, drag it down. A little neater looking. Oh. Yeah, let's put the arrow that way. This arrow should be going that direction. Okay. Still holding. Let's move this over that way. Move this up this way. Put this guy all the way down around over here. All this to get my arrow correct. Here, I want this arrow go up here. And I can start moving these other guys around. We get the alignment a little better. My alignment down there. Okay. If it's true, I drop this way and I go through the routine here. If it's false, move this down this way a little bit. False, that way. And then we'll be all down here. We'll see. And false going that way. It's not lining up. That's why she's not doing it. There we go. Wondering why this thing won't give me a link here. It ought to just give me a link. If it's not going to do that, I'll go back to my line function. This goes up. This goes down. Move this over a little bit. There's my flow chart. These aren't quite lined up. Get rid of my line here, move it over a little bit. You can use the arrow key to move your boxes once you've got them in there for final adjustments. Okay. Now, turn it in. Go to File, Save As. Save as what? It's got a draw file here. One of the things I can save this thing as, makes it a little easier. Go ahead and export it as a ping file. Export it as a ping file. Where do I want to put it? It's on device. And I'm going to call this webinar sample. .ping. And save it. Now we'll close all this out. Go back to the download section. There's webinar sample.ping. That's what the ping file looks like. Okay. Can I open it as a ping file? Let's go to draw. There's a desktop version of Draw.io. I put that on my computer. Go to the desktop version of Draw.io. You can go to the web version of it. Cancel. Continue that. Let's go editing. I gotta open the file. What happened here? Leave. Let's go to Draw.io up here. Draw.io. Loading. Edit. Edit what? We go get a file. Open from device, sample.ping, discard changes, and there we go. So you can save it as a ping file and open it back up as a regular file. And then here, we're looking at the page size of it. That's pretty good. It's clear enough, it's big enough where you can read it. Okay? It's big enough where you can see the text. You can then go in and add other things to it. For example, I didn't say text, I meant to say end. And when I say end over here, it should tell me ends 18 things here. Click here to save. Click here to save it. Did I say save changes? Yeah, I did say save changes. So now it's end. And now I'll go back into the file and I can upload this to my assignment. Here on the downloads, there's ping. Sure enough, it's showing different size files. What's this? Visual search. I think I have one for a full screen version. At the full screen version, yeah. Full screen version though is not showing your arrows. What happened with that? Full screen version wasn't showing your arrows. Why? Well, we might have run into something then here. Edit. Where's our program here? Open from device, from our sample, discard changes. I got all my arrows there. Why is it not showing arrows? Okay, let's try this. Let's save it as instead of ping. Let's see. Is there an option? I think there may be an option called export. Export as a PDF file. Export webinar sample.drawing.pdf. Save it. Now let's see if the file itself here, yeah, it shows arrows. Okay, that's interesting. And then you can play with it from there. All right.